Good evening, welcome. You are a rowdy bunch for a group that lost an hour's sleep, and that's good. I will be punctual tonight. We are dealing with 1 Samuel 7. It's a case study in victory. Victory is tangible. We can get our arms around it. It is not something that is nebulous, and this chapter teaches that. We have been through 5 principles thus far. And victory still begins with sacrifice. That is a New Testament principle. Romans 12, again, I've tried to emphasize that is real, that is tangible. There are things we do, there are things that we don't do if we are living sacrifices. And a great place to start is Romans 12:3 through Romans 15:13. Victory still needs air support, prayer. It is significant for the first time in at least 2 generations. Israel finally recognizes that the Philistines are their enemies, not their allies, and they finally plead with Samuel to pray for them. And that, again, that just hadn't happened, folks. And our air support today is still essential. We know that victory is progressive. It will take another couple of generations for the Philistines to disappear. Philistines don't just disappear. And it should be a really good deterrent as far as sin, beloved. We can choose the sin, but we cannot choose the consequences. And forgiveness is instantaneous and it is complete, but boy, dealing with those consequences sometimes is a progressive thing. But it's a day at a time, it is a step at a time, and we just need to keep plugging away at it. Number 4, we know that victory is visible. I showed you a map, and the Philistine intrusion into the country, it begins to change, and they are driven back to the southwestern part of the coast of the Middle East. And the map of victory will be visible in your life. The map of your life will begin to change. Your boundaries, which are your spiritual convictions, will define you. They will distinguish you, just like the property lines on the 10 acres that we have here distinguish this lot. And that is just really, the world needs to see that, beloved. They need to see that we're different, and they've seen enough fruit baskets. They need to see a fruit stand. And we need to show them that Jesus is real and there's nothing wrong with biblical separation. Number 5, the steps to victory aren't necessarily spectacular. We noted there are no recorded miracles in 1 Samuel. And even this victory, if we could be transported back in time, if we could have talked to someone who was involved in the battle, and if we had told them, this is a turning point, I wonder what their response would have been. But this is the turning point. Now, there was a thunderstorm. I think the timing of it obviously was divine. I think the magnitude, there was something about it that was more than just a regular thunderstorm because it terrified the Philistines. There's a spiritual aspect there, defeat. But God just didn't, zap, no fire from heaven, no lion's den, water didn't part. It was just a very vanilla victory. And that is true in Christendom today. There is no such thing as insignificant obedience. All obedience is significant. Just there is no such thing as insignificant disobedience. Whenever we use those 2 words, if we're going to use a modifier, it is significant. All obedience is significant and all disobedience is significant. And usually both start in small areas. But it's a progression. And this is a vanilla victory. And we cannot live from mountaintop to mountaintop. And praise God when the mountaintops occur. Spiritual adrenaline is a really cool thing, but you can't live on it. And there's just too much time that passes in between those mountaintop to mountaintop experiences. And it's the daily, it's vanilla. And if we take care of the vanilla, I believe that God will take care of the rest of the flavors. Number 6, we will look at this one tonight. All victories are significant and are to be celebrated. Samuel, after this victory, the implication is the battle wasn't long, although we're not given a time frame. Usually when the lines break and an army is retreating and being chased down, it's usually pretty quick at that point. But when the victory was done, when it was secured, he did something interesting. And it's only recorded in one verse, verse 7, chapter 7, verse 12. And this is it. Then Samuel took a stone and set it between Mizpah and Shen, and called the name of it Ebenezer, saying, hitherto hath the Lord helped us. He established a stone memorial. Beloved, that is significant. It is very significant. And maybe initially it's a head scratcher, but he is doing something very biblical. Now, it hasn't happened for a while, but it was biblical. It was something that was established. It began in the book of Joshua, 2 historical periods ago. And if you look through the book of Joshua carefully, you will find 6 sets of stone memorials after different events. Every memorial, it would be a study, signifies even something significant today in the Christian experience. The first set, probably the most familiar, was after the crossing of the Jordan River. And it's spring, the Jordan is at flood stage, the army is up on the east side, they have got to get across. We don't know what sort of technology they had as far as engineering, as far as bridge building skills or anything like that. They probably had it, but God wanted to do something special. God wanted to show this new generation that he was the same God that their fathers served, and so it sort of